All set is 58 minutes after the hour, and we have Ada with us from San Antonio Black International Film Festival. Good morning, Ada.
Good morning. You're not gonna tackle that last name, huh?
What's that?
I said you're not gonna tackle the last name.
Oh, you know what happened this morning? Somebody texted this morning and said it was spelt wrong. And I turned around and looked at it because I use that, what's to use that auto deal with Word, they correct everything.
Uh-huh.
Apparently,
uh
they didn't like the way your name was spelled, and they spelled it different.
well, Babineaux, but for my internet presence, I spell it Babineaux. But it's somewhere along the line in history they dropped the EAUX, so it's Babino, Babineaux.
Oh.
Louisiana, Louisiana background.
Well, you're Babineaux. Okay, okay. Because
Yeah.
I looked at it and I said, how dare Word change that name? It was my fault because normally I proofread everything, but I was just putting things together, and I'm glad my dear Sharon saw that this morning. She texted me 4:30 this morning. I said, "Aren't you supposed to be in bed, girl? What you doing up this time in the
Oh,
morning?"
Sharon's always up.
And
Always.
yeah, she did that. I said, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, but anyway, I'm so excited and sort of like I won't be here. I had a vacation planned.
I know. I was gonna try to
Oh,
pull you into the fold.
yes, but I'm here for anything else that you need because we're gonna definitely blast this out, let everybody know. Because as we were talking off air, nobody didn't hear us, but we were talking like we got to get the word out because this is my first time hearing about this.
Mhm. Well,
You know.
we actually started the San Antonio Black International Film Festival in 2019. That was our inaugural date. And that was a struggle just to start it, just boom. We just community folks got together and thought concurred with me on the need for a film festival here. And we just started it. And so the next 2 years was COVID. So we've been
Yes.
online. So this is 2022 is our first year being back out from the internet and live in person in San Antonio. So we're really trying to get the word out. We have a special theme this year and festival, and majority of it is free. And so there's no excuse. There's no cost prohibited, things that are prohibiting you. It's just bringing yourself to the physical location or looking at it virtually. We're operating hybrid this year. So we're going to be
Okay.
virtual as well as in person. Because one of the things COVID did was it allowed us to get a larger audience online and more exposure virtually. So we wanted to keep that audience growing virtually, but also
Yeah.
bring some really special stuff here in San Antonio. And we're doing it on the east side. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
the east side doesn't get enough play, don't get enough plug. People come to the Spurs games on the east side, they leave. People come to the MLK march, they leave. So we're trying to affirm and set ourselves up as East Side, proud East Side Film Festival. We have extensions to downtown, so we doing District 1 and District 2, holding the festival here at very notable locations that we can talk. Well, we'll get into and break that down for you.
Yeah, because when I was looking at the schedule, you have everything on the east side, like you said. You got the Carver Center, St. Philip College, and that's the St. Philip College is a great location because they got
It's an
so much going on
HBCU.
there. Yeah, it's so much over there that you could tap into. And I was looking at the schedule. You're tapping into it pretty good. You got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, and there's so much that I hope it's not overwhelming when people look at the little postcards I have. I made some postcards and we're trying to get these around to churches and schools, but on the back we have so much stuff that I hope people don't get confused or whatever, but there's something each day at a different location. I let me break it down.
Go ahead and break it down. Go
So,
ahead and do it.
okay, so we start the SABIF 2022, which is themed animation in Black. So the theme is going to revolve around all of our panels, our opening night, and our closing night. So we'll have those animation related workshops, panels, celebrations. And the films in competition, if you go to a film festival, you just have films that you watch all day. So we have an Black international program films that made it into our competition, and we showcase those 2 days. So we start at the Carver Community Cultural Center for our red carpet opening reception. That is going to be really special. And we're allowing it to be free. HEB gave us a grant. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather have this available, fill up the seats instead of selling a ticket here, a ticket there, a ticket there. So we
Yeah.
decided to open it up to fill up the Carver Community Cultural Center. We're having a salute, a celebration, honoring Bruce W. Smith. He is the creator, the executive producer, the director. He's just a master animator. He created the Proud Family. I don't know if you remember that in the 90s. My daughter grew
Yes.
up on the Proud Family, and they relaunched it in March, the Proud Family Louder and Prouder. And that's a wonderful animated series about a family that it's comical. It stars Tommy Davis. It stars just I don't know the names behind the scenes, but there's a wealth of celebrities that run it. Um, but he's going to be honored with our annual Ankh Achievement Award. And so Ankh, of course, means life. I have my little uncle. So it's an award similar to this. That's our Oscar, our Emmy. So
All
we
right.
created that. That's our signature. That award is going to be given to him with a program that shows one of his series that we do a talk with him on stage, one-on-one audience interaction. That's going to be hosted by Dragonfly, Robin Laverne Wilson, who was really big here and then left for New York and came back. So this is her return home, and she's going to be honoring that. We have some surprises in terms of the musical selection. And so we're really excited with that opening night. It's going to be fun. We have step and repeat, take pictures, red carpet, reception with the hors d'oeuvres and the whole 9 yards. So that is free and open to the public, 6 o'clock to 10 on October 6th. That's on a Thursday. We're hoping that people can bring their families out because this is a family affair. We have an animator. I mean, who gets the chance to to talk with an animator? He will be speaking there, getting his award, and then he will speak the next day, more of an informal conversation with hopefully kids and college students can come. And that's going to be at St. Philip's College the next day in the Sutton Learning Center in the Bolden room on the third floor of St. Philip's College on the 7th. So we have the 7th is a day that we're hoping can be a field trip day for mentee groups, for students, for youth, preschool all the way up to high school. College, not college. So we have at the Carver Library, these are our partner venues, the Carver Library, they will hold programs for preschool and elementary kids all day. We have adventures in virtual reality. We have how to do your first animated video. We have screens of a showcase of animated films that will play. So there's going to be activity going on all the day at the Carver Library for the little ones.
Okay.
Food trucks outside. And then at St. Philip's College, that same day, the same time, we're going to hold our films in competition. That is the only event during this festival that is being charged, the films in competition. And that ranges, that's $40. You can see films all day throughout the day. We have a total of 58 films.
Wow.
From all over the world, Black international films. And we put those 58 films into 14 blocks. So if you go to our website and you go into the films and filmmaker tab, it will break down the blocks. And so when I say blocks, we put all of those films into hour blocks, hour and a half blocks, so that there may be 5 narrative short films on one that adds up to an hour. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like blocks of films, and you can choose to watch all day. And you can choose the films you want based on the descriptions in the blocks and the trailers you can see online on our sabif.tv website.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all day at the Carver. We have a Disney casting agent coming out, the one who for the Proud Family. She's going to be talking about casting and voiceover. We have an anime session that's coming down. We found a studio out of Austin, a Black and Asian paired couple have this animated studio. So that's really big with kids, anime. We have, what do we have? We have again, we're animation workshop, how to build animation. We have adventure virtual, put the glasses on and interactive. So we have UTSA coming out to give us a workshop on that. Framing invisibility, talking about stereotypes and overcoming stereotypes in animation. We will have pre-recorded interviews that will be playing in one room. On illustration, we've talked to master illustrators who do comic books, like who do characters like the Superman, the Black characters. We have education with heart and soul. That's basically families and organization animation people for their kids. So we've talked to a family in Chicago that created Jules TV on YouTube. That is a sensation. We've talked to Gracie's TV on the internet. That's a Gracie sensation. So we've talked to in Kenya. We talked to Keely and me. So we brought together different profiles from different parts of the country: Uganda, Jamaica. Where else did we do? LA, of course, and Cameroon. So we brought these profiles because it's important for people to see that you don't need to depend on Hollywood to see your images, to hear your stories. There are people that are creating this all over the world, and it's important for us to connect as African peoples to find out what's out there, and to embrace the cultural differences that we within a culture have and are connected by. So we've brought a lot of things to the fold. So St. Philip's College will be 2 days on the October 7th and 8th. The 7th, that Friday, we're hoping will be a big school day because that's a school day and people work days. We want classes and teachers and all that to really come out and absorb what we have. On that Saturday, that is our closing night day because we only 4 days. St. Philip's College will have everything going all day during the day. And then in the evening, we break. At 7, we start Cinema Under the Stars.
Wow.
So we got a big LED pop-up screen from Dynamite AV. They have this brother from the East Side started a business. He's doing awesome, but he has a pop-up screen LED. We're having a DJ come out. We're having a comedian, Clifford Simmons, local comedian, come out. We're having Black trivia, so we're having all that on the yard in the courtyard of St. Philip's College. Oh. Vendors, food trucks. So come out, bring your families, bring your blankets, your lawn chairs, and just enjoy the film that we are featuring. I don't know if you knew that there was a Black animator in Disney when you were growing up.
No, I didn't.
The films like Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Lady and the Tramp, all the Disney films that are like iconic films. There was a brother that was working behind the scenes. His name is Floyd Norman. So we're presenting a feature documentary film on him. It's a fun feature. People think, oh, documentaries are boring. No, it's a fun feature. It's called Floyd Norman, My Animated Life. So that's going to be our feature film for Under the Stars. You'll learn something. You'll be entertained. And then we have 2 animated films that we're showing with that as well. So that's going to be a really fun-filled night. And then we close the following day, which is Sunday, with our awards celebration for the films in competition. We've selected winners, and we're going to award them with the award. We're going to be at the Magic Theater downtown on Del Rio on Cesar Chavez. It's a wonderful children's theater that we're going to be there live with, first starting off at 11 o'clock with a panel of animation change makers. So we have people, again, you can't depend on people to do your story, to do your stuff. We have Animation TV, a brother out of Georgia who is starting Animation TV channel. We have a sister out of Morocco, West Africa, who's coming down. She's created a channel in Morocco, her hometown. And people don't know. People disconnect. Okay, Morocco, where is that? Was that? That's in North Africa. They still
Yeah.
Africans, and so
Hmm.
we are bringing her in. She's based out of Paris, but she's starting an animation empire there, where she's doing training and really, bringing on animators and content and starting a channel or studio there. And we have a brother called that started Afro Animation, which is an animation summit. It was typically, there was one in March. I think it's in March typically, where they bringing together animators all over the world and showcasing and presenting their works. So that is a live panel on stage, and we're looking for studio audiences to come and sit and partake with the wonderful information that they're doing about changing the face of animation, bringing it more inclusive and diverse, and making it equitable. And so they will be speaking on a panel, and then we have on the tail end of that at 1 o'clock we start our actual live awards ceremony, just like any other awards ceremonies. It's going to be live
Yeah.
at the theater, where we are actually presenting the winning filmmakers of the films in competition with awards. So that is it.
Wow.
So in the evenings, typically we stop at 6 at St. Philip's. So in the evenings, there's usually something to follow. So we are going to be at Mark's outing. We're supporting Black business. So after our day of St. Philip's on that Friday, we're going to be at Mark's outing for entertainment, some burgers, just some networking time. And after the opening night, we have just the mixing mingle after the awards ceremony and the opening night on the Riverwalk, a place called Elsewhere. It's a mystical, wonderful bar, garden, kitchen, and bar on the Riverwalk, which is 9th Street if you're coming from the street. And we're going to be meeting there after, just to kind of celebrate the opening night. So that's it. It's a lot going on, and so you really have to go to the website and sabiff.tv, which is sabiff.tv, and look, browse, see trailers, read about the filmmakers and what's happening, and yeah, plan your days, October 6th through 9th.
Yeah, I seen all that. I was been on the website, and it's really nice. I
Thank
like
you.
animation on there, and all that's. I mean, it looks beautiful. Um, are there any needs for any more vendors, or do you have the vendors all set up?
Yeah, I mean, I really want that night cinema under the stars.
Hmm.
We really would like to have, I need about 9 vendors. So we have a couple already reserved, but I do have space for more vendors.
Okay.
Um, that's going to be a big night. I want to welcome this class of 1980 from Sam Houston High School. They're going to be celebrating their reunion with us on the yard, on the courtyard, watching the film, and embracing all of the vendors and the DJ, the music, the dance that's going to occur after. So yeah, there's still vendor rooms. You can contact me. If you look at SABIFF, so it's SABIFF team at sabiff.tv. So
Okay.
you can email me, or I posted some things on our web page where you can call 202-744-2641. So and you can, just let me know if you want to vend. I'll send you an email with all the particulars, and it's easy peasy
Okay.
stuff.
I'm looking over here. I got the Cherokee people. All I've been hearing for the past 3 weeks
Mhm.
is about the reunion going on. I think everybody in San Antonio went to that school.
Most of the black folk in San Antonio, from my generation, but early on it was Wheatley, Wheatley High. I mean Wheatley School, because that was the older people when they, before
Yeah.
segregation and all that, integration and all that. But yeah, 80s, 70s, that was a Sam Houston thing. Yeah. So
So
I'm very happy that they're supporting the festival by coming out and
yeah.
hopefully sharing what we're doing with people, because it's not easy. People just like, but it's not easy putting together something like this. There's a lot of passion that goes into this. I'm a filmmaker by trade, by training. And so for me coming back to San Antonio and not seeing or getting a sense of, where are the black films? Where are the black filmmakers? What's going, it was just coming back after 30 years of being away. It was missing. I was away in DC, so that's predominantly black. You don't see
Right.
you don't see any other people but black people typically in DC. Well, now it's changed because it's definitely gentrified. But being there for 30 plus years, I'm very conscious and very you know when something's missing for me, you have to create it. And I'm talking to a lot of the animators and illustrators and gamers and all that. They've created their world. And so it's the same thing with the film festival. You create it, but the big thing that is needed when you create something is the support. So you
Right.
need people, you need audience. We need to build an audience that knows about it and says, "Oh, I didn't know about it. Oh, I didn't hear about it." We need people that take the initiative to pass and share what we're doing with their churches, with their schools, to bring people out. Because I mean, my big thing is impact. We need to impact people with what we're doing. It's not frivolous stuff we're putting on. You can be entertained in animation. So for instance, when you think animation, you think of cartoons,
Right.
but there's so much behind this field of animation that we as black people are not getting into because there's not an entryway, there's not a door. So that's why the whole conversation about equity, diversity, inclusion, all of that is important, because when you're not at the table, you don't have a say in what is being created, what's
Hmm.
being produced. And so oftentimes we're not at the table in the rooms of these Hollywood films. They're trying to get much better. A lot has changed since George Floyd was murdered. A lot
Right.
has changed in terms of people like, oh, well, maybe we should help. Maybe we should hire. So that opened the eyes of many people. But on the larger scale, there are white males creating animation. There's not a lot of black folks who have their foot in the door. And so when we put together film festivals like this, where we're bringing you creatives, where we're bringing you images and stories and perspectives that you typically don't see, it's important to support. It's important for your children to see. So that's one of the things, I'm really trying to get out there. Talking with animators that I've interviewed, a lot of them said, when they were growing up, when they were drawing and doing things, there was nobody to push them. They were not seeing images, they were not connecting with anybody in the industry. So we are trying to bring you people in the industry. We're trying to get you faces and connect you with people that are doing things, so that you won't be like them, having to kind of fall into it later in life, as opposed to being nurtured and it developing at a young age.
You
um,
know, you said some things that I know this art gallery, Maria Williams. She's over there on the east side.
Oh, Maria
Yeah,
Williams. She started with us.
she almost said the same thing verbatim what you said about nobody know what's going on. How can we get the black artists at an early age to get them to do things? I mean, it's almost exactly the same thing she said that you said, and you are correct. We got to find some doors to open up, and the only way to get the doors to open up is we need a
Being
platform.
exposed to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, being
yeah,
exposed.
platform like this one and all the other platforms out there. We need to educate the black community of what's going on you could be anything you want to be. So if you want to be an animator, then you know how do they go about it? Who do they need to contact? What do they need to do? Those are all the questions that's going to be asked later on. You know what I mean?
But you know what? When you think animation, you just think cartoons. Again, behind the field of animation, if you draw, there's illustration, storybooks, there's gaming, there's writing for animation, being a script writer, there's producing, there's voiceover acting, casting, there's casting at the end of a film credits. All these little jobs that are needed to put together a film. And so it's not just, oh, animation for animation's sake. It's all that.
Looked like she froze on us. Okay, she'll be signing back
You
on.
lost me for a
Oh,
minute.
there
Can
we
you hear me?
go. I just said you froze on us. There you go.
You
Can you
lost
hear
me
me?
for a minute. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what happened. I can't hear you. Let me chat.
Okay. Look like you froze again on us.
Let
Can you hear me?
me see if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you still there, Ada? She's coming back in again.
Okay.
I can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Look like you froze again on us. She's doing the sharing.
Need to, and teachers really need to see early on people's talents. Like if kids are doodling in class and whatever, that's could be a potential illustrator. you know and
Yeah.
the jobs are lucrative. There's a lot of money that we're making. We talked to Eric Battle, who's a big comic book illustrator, and Jose Holder, big comic book illustrators. And that's one of the things they were saying when they were little. They were like doodling on paper, and yeah, they couldn't get enough of drawing, and um oftentimes they were discouraged. They would people were they're discouraged from their talents of art. The people that we talked
Yeah.
to in these African, specifically African and Jamaican countries, their parents think that their only way for success is to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. So a lot of them had to abandon their creative artistic side and go to college for engineering, or something. And that's an animation related too, but something doctor or whatever. And that wasn't fulfilling them, so they had to come back into the fold later in life and figure things out. But that's why it's important for parents to pay attention to who you have as a child. What are they doing? Are they tootling? Are they in fashion merchandising? Maybe they're drawing, they're doing costume. Maybe, there's different things you got to pay attention and nurture and expose your kids to the possibilities of what they can become.
It's
And that's what we try to push
it's like
forward
that hidden
with all of
talent
the
that
things
they
that we
have.
do. Mhm.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. It's like that hidden talent because everybody has a hidden talent, and something happens where it comes to surface. And when it does come to surface, being a parent, you ought to see that hidden talent in your child. Some don't, like you said, no, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be this because that's what you need to be. Like blue collar and white collar workers. I explain this to everybody sometimes. White collar workers think they're making all the money, but there's some blue collar jobs out there that makes twice as much as a white collar does, but it's physical. It's physical that you do. But
Hmm.
then I'm gonna ask you a question.
Hmm.
Go with us behind the scenes because I always express everybody. Nobody knows on what goes on behind the scenes. All they see is the finished product.
Mhm.
They don't see the struggles you go through to get something out. To say for instance, you're doing a film
Mhm.
and you're trying to get everybody together. And can you walk through some of the challenges that you have?
Well, the biggest challenge is always funding. Because when you work for a Disney, like Bruce works for Disney, so Disney funds what he does. But if you're an independent filmmaker like myself, or if you're an independent animator, you have to um, find funding for what you do. So when you're writing your script, you usually have to have another job and do your script in the evening or on lunch breaks or whatever. People that are industry oriented, they will get commission to do the research and work on a script, and they get paid for that. But if you're independent, you have to make it happen. So writing the script is the first thing, or connecting with someone who has a written script. So there's phases. There's research phase. There's a development phase. If you're writing a character that is a doctor, you have to research and know what a doctor does in order to write about a doctor. You have to talk to doctors and see what their life entails. So there's a research stage, there's a development stage. You have to develop your characters. And so that research stage, a lot of times you need funding to go through the research stage, and if you want to fully commit to it, otherwise you're doing it on the side typically. One of the things that I did when I was talking to the illustrators, because illustrators work by themselves, they're drawing and whatever, but they have to be, as Eric Battle said, they have to be directors on paper. You look at a comic book, you look at the different panels of a comic book, you'll see that there may be somebody who's sitting on a tree, sitting under a tree. You have to draw the sun coming through the trees, the grass, the person sitting, how they're posturing, their expression. So you're directing that on paper. So to have the mind to create artistically and know how the sun falls, if there's a dog sitting in the shot, is there a cat? What's the action? So that is like, to me, I learned so much talking to them. It was just, it opened my eyes to the magnitude of what they have to know as an animator, as an illustrator. I mean, as an illustrator, drawing storybook panels or comic books. So anyway, that's an aside, but knowing those details and being trained as an artist that can go from anime to comic book strips to art in a gallery at the Eye of the Beholder where Maria is open. You
Yeah.
have to learn the full spectrum of art and know it. You have to know anatomy, how to make fingers, the eyes, the eyebrows. So I just got such a massive amount of respect and knowledge talking to an illustrator. I had no idea about their world. So that aside, but so there's pre-production and development, and then that moves you, and you have to get budgeting. You got to do casting during that period. If you're animating animation, you got to do voiceover. Um, so that's a critical period to organize you and put your people in place. You got to get a crew. Pre-production is major, and that needs to be organized and to the point where it will move you into production, which is actually taking what you have on that script and bringing it to life. And you have a lot of people that help you bring it to life that you need to pay. So budgeting again is important
Yeah.
because you have to pay. So you have grips who move lighting, you have gappers who light, you have the director of photography who shoots and coordinates with the gapper who's lighting the scenes. You have the casting agent who handles who she brings on as the actors. You have a production manager who's managing the production, a line producer who's over the production manager. There's so many people involved. I encourage you, instead of leaving at the end of a movie, to sit and watch those credits. I don't leave a movie until I see the credits, because there are so many people involved in making that film. Um, and it's just so much work involved to put it together. And then if you think about it, how many Black people are those in that film putting it together? If
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at a Hollywood film, if you're looking at a Black independent film, we typically working for little or no pay or low pay. to put that production forward to make that film. So that's the production, pre-production, production, post-production, typically editing, doing the sound, sweetening the music, um, putting it all together as the editor. Those are like the doctors who put you together in surgery. They're putting together that film and bringing it to the point where it's completion. And then you have your distribution and exhibition part where you either get a distributor or you put your own YouTube channel nowadays. You can put it up, make your own channel and put it up yourself. You can enter it in film festivals where people can see it. And so that's our part. We're the exhibition. We bring the films to you based on filmmakers who have submitted their films to our festival from all around the world. There's a platform called filmfreeway.com that filmmakers put their films on, put the description of the film and all of that. They submit it and we can get it and look at it and decide, have judges judge it and pick the films that are going to be in our festival, which we call in competition, films in competition. So that's what we have going on all day. Films from Egypt, from Jamaica, from South Africa, from Kenya, from Trinidad. So we have a wealth of films of Black folks from all over the world. And so that's important in connecting the cultures, connecting the stories and the images from all over the world.
Okay. I got this question. I always want to know how they did this. Like the Proud Family. When the animation is there, then you get the actors there to do the voiceover. Are they watching the film itself? And because it's to me, it's remarkable to have the voices with the mouth opening, everything is coming out. How is that done?
You know what? That's a question for Bruce that we can answer at the Carver on opening night or the next day, because their animation is so fascinating to me. I would think that the process is that they have to watch in order to voice what the character and what they're doing. I would think that that is the process, but that's a good question, and that's a question that kids can learn when they come out. There's going to be a one-on-one with Bruce at St. Philip's at 11 o'clock on Saturday. There's going to be the casting director who actually casts the voices, the actors. And you know what amazes me is, for me, animation is just, I'm enthralled by it. But to me, it's like, how do you know that Sugar Mama's character, that voice for Sugar Mama's character is going to work for Sugar Mama? Like, how do you know who will bring that person, that animated feature to life? Like Tommy Davidson, being Oscar proud. How would you know that was Tommy Davidson? How did that work for you? How did you make those selections? So those things are like things I'm interested in sitting down and listening to too, because I think it's such a fascinating world of animation. So I'm excited to learn more about that, how that process is done.
Yeah, because
even creating a character, like bringing that out of your mind, a character, and then making it move and react, and then putting a voice to it and bringing it to life. Yeah, I'm sure he sleeps with these characters in his brain on what they're doing and figuring out stories, and so there's a lot involved. I'm so excited that we'll be able to learn more, And I wanted to say, again, we think animation, cartoon, but you can do so much with the world of animation. There's this brother we talked to from India who's created an augmented reality comic book series. So augmented reality, what is that? He explains that more. But basically, he's bringing the comic book to life.
Yes.
And he's inserting things in the comic book, the virtual comic book, that you can connect to on an emotional level. So they did a comic book on Jupiter called Jupiter. And it's a comic book series that you can get free online. You come to the festival, we'll give you the particulars on that, but you can get it free online. And it's a series. It's a series about an enslaved African who's immortal. And so I'm like, deep, like you're doing that with a comic book? You think superhero comic books, you think he's making comic books, taking comic books to a whole nother level with the whole augmented reality world. He did a film on Jupiter. I mean, a comic book series on Jupiter. He also did a film on an activist in India who was raped, and because of her rape, she goes on and tells different stories, and she's an activist. So I'm like, wow, you're taking comic books, you're taking animation to a whole nother level, a whole nother
Right.
seriousness. So you can take animation in any direction you want. It's your world. It's their world. You can be serious and do animation. We have a brother coming that does marketing animation for businesses and nonprofits, advertising their
Wow.
stuff. You can take animation, do anime. I mean, anime is not just something for Asians that you do create in Japan. No, anime is all over the world. And it's just the woman that's coming, Sammy. She's coming from Austin with her anime studio. She was just saying that it's really in, like, the Middle East is really big in anime, and different parts of Africa too. And I'm like, oh, I thought that was just an Asian thing. She's like, no, it's not just a white American or an Asian thing. Anime is, and sports anime is really big. So
Yeah.
there's so many roads that you can go down, so many paths that you can choose in this whole genre of animation, moving images. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. There's a parent that's got a child that's into it. How they go about contacting you or somebody to how can I put it to boy, I'm lost for words. If somebody came to you and said they have a child that want to learn all this, how do they go about getting them enrolled in some type of school or
Yeah.
whatever it is?
So and again, that is parents paying attention to their children. So if you have a child that's constantly moving furniture around the room, or changing clothes and whatever, that child may be an interior designer. They may be a potential costume designer, or something in cost that can go in costuming in this world. If you have somebody that's always doodling, they may be an animator, they may be an illustrator. It's just a matter of paying attention and doing your due diligence, doing the research, to find out where you can plug your child into. That's finding classes locally, or finding camps to put them into. That's coming to film festivals in town that like this, that have a themed, um, you know, something themed to do, that sparks your child's interest or imagination, or connects them or exposes them to something that they can pursue further. But it's really doing your due diligence. There's schools, there's particular art schools, there's art classes, taking them to galleries, um, just anything that gives them the exposure to educate them, because you can find education everywhere. It's not just sitting in a classroom or going to school where you can find education. You can find education everywhere. You can go outside in the morning and look a different direction, and something blows your way that can educate you or change the
Yeah.
direction course of your day, of your thoughts. So it's a matter of captivating minds and presenting them with alternatives, um, that can, like I said, expose them to what is possible. I mean, coming from San Antonio, Texas, growing up on the East Side, me myself, I didn't know Black independent filmmaking existed. What is that? All I knew was what I see on TV. All I knew was Hollywood. All I knew was studios. I had to go out of my comfort zone, out of my world, out of San Antonio, to find something different that opened my eyes to what I could be in life, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, so I went to Howard University. They had Black independent filmmakers there. I took classes. I came upon Haile Garima, who was a major Black independent filmmaker, veteran, legendary filmmaker. I studied under him. After studying under him, I started to work on his film Sankofa, which is like a major film on the independent world. Worked on that film. It took me to Ghana, it took me to Berlin, it took me to Jamaica. So coming out of your box, your world, your neighborhood, there is so much out there in this world that you can connect to. And I will say that animation can be done Nowadays, illustrators are working from their home. They're working at their computers. You have
Exactly.
programs where you send your stuff in. We talked to a brother in Toronto. He works for Disney, for Warner, whatever. He sends his stuff in. We talked to Eric Battle in Philly. He's doing series for DC Comics, for Marvel, at his computer at home, making good money.
Yeah.
You know, not being stressed by a micromanager or doing a job that he doesn't like or want to do. He is living his passions and getting paid good for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's just so much out there that we really, as Black folks, got to explore beyond our worlds, our mundane worlds. We have to really get out there. There's so much awaiting for us, especially children. The future is bright. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of places to connect. And it's got infotainment. I talked to Kenya Studios. They created Akili and Me. Akili, we take a name for granted. Akili and Me. Akili means brain. That is a show that develops the brains of little kids and exposes them to numbers and alphabet and emotions and uh, manners and from an African perspective. So they're getting their culture, but they're learning. That show is in millions of households all over Africa and now on YouTube. So it's around the world, and they are really making a difference in educating kids from preschool on up. So there's so much you can do with animation. There's so much you can do if you develop your talents and your skills and really find your passions and flourish. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about that, I have two grandkids.
Bring them, bring them.
No, no, but they went into um, an audition for just doing commercials and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
so now they shot a pilot that's going to air in December on Disney, a matter of fact, and they're going to be on TV, and they just so excited. Now the granddaughter, you could snap your finger, she cries. You snap it again, she stops. I said, "There's our next
Wow.
actress right there." But
Wow.
they were discovered by going through doing commercials, TV commercials, and so one thing led to another. Now the young lady would probably do it, but the little son, the little grandson, he could take it or leave it. But he was exposed to that, and they talk about it all the time. Well, mainly they talk about how much they're getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
they're
And they're doing
talking
something fun.
right, and they didn't have to take too many takes. I guess it was a natural for what they were doing because I always was told and heard that kids are the hardest things to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Kids
Mm-hmm.
are, you don't know what mood they're going to be in from one day to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess animation the same way when you come across animation and there's kids involved. I
Mm-hmm.
bet I like to be behind the scene on one of those going on.
Yeah, I think it's a different level of kids because we have a family, Jules.tv, YouTube sensation in the 20s, 2020, when during COVID, they started an animation channel. Their 5-year-old does all the voicing for all those characters. Same thing
Wow.
with Gracie's TV out of Houston. Their 7-year-old does the voicing and the singing. So I think it's a special kid and a disciplined kid. Like I said, that's why you got to pay attention to your kids and what they're capable of doing. And these parents did because the Jules TV has 4 boys and only one of them is taking an interest, the 5-year-old, to do everything. So
Yeah.
and you really got to take attention to your kid. But I think it's a special kid that's disciplined, that has a knack for reading or singing or acting that will, when they get in position, they function and learn the manners of how they need to behave and act on set and what they need to do. So I don't think it's a lot of disciplinary issues that you deal with when you're dealing with kids. I know for TV, when there's typically small kids, oftentimes there's twins. Like when there's babies, there's twins, so
Yeah.
that when the baby gets tired working 3 hours or 6 hours, the other one comes on and takes its place or whatever. And then there's rules that kids can only be on set a certain amount of time, and So they're cognizant with the rules and whatever in terms of what they can get out of a kid during a certain time, a certain period. But those kids that are doing it, they're special kids. You know, they're able to, like your grandkids, they're able to cry on a minute's notice or stop on a minute's notice. But those are special kids that are groomed and are just waiting to the opportunities to get into this profession.
Um, I'm gonna go back when you said kids. Everybody, if they don't agree with me, too bad. When holiday season came along, with Thanksgiving and Christmas, they always push certain kids when you with family. Go ahead and sing that song like you sung before. Go ahead and sing. Some will come out there and just start wailing away, and
Yep.
some you got to poke to get out there. And and later on in life, the ones who sung right away, the ones that was in the church choir. You know, they weren't afraid to do that because we almost had a talent show because big families, when they had those reunions stuff, they all had sings and all that going on like that. And I love big family reunions because everybody get together, one family say, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. And it's a competition. And I miss those days. We don't do that anymore.
It doesn't seem to be. Family reunions are slowly going away as the elders are passing. Um, and that's unfortunate. Those are the fun times, the getting together, coming together as family and doing things together as a family. Um, yeah, those are where the stories are passed along, and the getting to know family history and elders and the talent shows and the good food.
Yes.
It's unfortunate. It's like the torch of organizing and getting those together is not being passed on because the elders and the older people are always the ones that did it. And
Mm-hmm.
so there needs to be like an apprenticeship in the family, within the family, to continue the whole family reunion thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I was gonna say, just connecting with family for me, watching the Proud Family. When I watched that film, it was warming to me. When my daughter grew up on it in the '90s when it first started, and it was very warming to sit on the couch and laugh. Just at the interaction between the families and what they go through and the trials and tribulations, the comical stuff. It just reminds you of just Black culture and family and being together and the ups and downs and craziness, the challenges you overcome, and it's just I love that was brought.
Yeah. And grandma loved you no matter what. No matter what you did. Big
She
mama. That's
loved
what
you
we
and she
call her.
spanked your butt. She loves
Yep.
you, but she still spank your butt.
And twist you by the ear and all that, or give you that look. I hate that wooden spoon. I don't know why they always had that wooden spoon in their hand.
That's a cultural thing too. The spoons, the fly. They had fly swats. We could get our butts beat with
Oh
fly
yeah.
swats back in the day. With anything in the hand.
I
Funny.
remember we called it a twig tree. You had to break off a piece. They had to bring it in to get whooped. I mean,
Yes,
who's gonna break off the oh
that was my mama's generation. My grandmother used to do that with her, yeah, with her
yeah.
brothers.
So, all that talent back then and what we have right now. So, okay, I hear that we have a couple of local singers that's going to sing gospel there
Mhm.
at your show.
So we have Patsy Whitfield, one of our team members, is producing our closing day award celebration. So she's bringing together. It's called Sun. So I didn't even mention this, but every day has a theme. So we have the opening night red carpet reception, the Onc Achievement Award. Then we have Black Friday. Our Black Friday consists of, like I said, St. Philip's and everything that goes there. Then we have Soul Saturday, and then we have Sunday Glory. So Sunday Glory is our closing awards ceremony and the live discussion on animation making moves. So that award ceremony again is put together as a ceremony, like you would sit and watch on TV. You have entertainment, you have an actual presenter, um, you have the audience, you have the award. I mean, you have everything like a regular thing. So Patsy is putting that on and bringing some local talent to the fold. Um, we have Michaela Gibson, who's an actress from the San Antonio area, lives in Austin, has done um, television and film. She's going to be the host for that evening. And then we have some talent. I believe there's going to be some gospel talent in there.
Yeah, we got
Um,
Brad and Veronica that's gonna be there singing.
yeah, so they got to bring the crew, bring it home. That's going to be our Sunday church service with awards and celebration. And that's going to be at the Magic Theater, which is a beautiful little spot. Um, right there on the Hemisphere grounds, where
Yeah.
near the tower. There's a beautiful park, garden park there. The kids can play after. You got a pizza place. So you got, it's a wonderful spot. So that's gonna be our Sunday celebration, ending it with a bang. So we're excited. And
Wow.
we tried to bring local folks into the fold on every night. We have a local comedian. We have a local host in the beginning, a local host in the end that are, that just kind of connect and tie the localness,
Yeah.
of to San Antonio Black International Film Festival. So
Well,
we're excited. We're
I'm
excited. We're
sorry I
proud
can't
to
be
bring this
there
to
this
the
year.
city.
I feel, but you know what? When
You
any
can
people,
watch it online. You can watch it online.
oh, I will
It's
do
going to be
that.
virtual, so I'll give you a online passcode for
Okay.
that. But not only that, all of the panels of that we've recorded from our
Mhm.
profiles, from our real talk discussions, those will remain on our San Antonio Black International Film Festival YouTube channel after the
Okay.
festival. So you can always see the panels. Oh my God, I forgot we have a great diversity, inclusion, and equity panel that talks some real talk about DEI in the industry. So that's a pre-recorded session that's going to play back as well. We have from
Okay.
Disney, from Nine Story Media. So it will be available. It will be available on our channel that you can watch. The only thing that won't be available are the films in competition, and
Okay.
those will be scheduled locally by a time, by the blocks I told you about here in San Antonio on the 7th and 8th, but they will be available virtually on video on demand only. So
Okay.
you can see and buy a ticket for video on demand for the virtual films, for and just see it anytime within that 4 day period. You can watch films within that 4 day period anytime,
Okay.
for virtual on demand. So those are the options that we're given for virtual or live in person.
Okay. So when next year come around, you make sure you get a hold of me. I will do whatever I can for you for next year. Also, I want to meet up with you and get some of those flyers so I can start handing those out on my neck of the woods and our churches and all that.
Yeah, text me out. Text me on how to reach you. I can get some. I can definitely get some to you.
Okay.
Next year, we're so excited. Next year, the theme, because I change themes every year. I might come back to animation another year because it's such a wonderful theme. But next year, we're moving to HBCU theme. So we're going to be spotlighting HBCU creatives and people behind the scenes, actresses, actors, the whole nine yards that have come from HBCU,
Okay.
historically Black colleges and universities. There's a lot in the industry from HBCUs, especially from Howard alone. You look at Howard alone, my beloved alma mater. If you look at Howard alone, you got Felicia Mashah, you got Taraj Henry, you got Debbie Allen, you got I mean, I gotta go on and on. And so Chaz McBolden who passed. You have just so many people that have come from Howard, and I'm not that's just folks that have made in the industry. You got a lot of folks behind the scenes that are working in audio, in music, in
Yeah. I just got
different.
Sandra. Well, you talking to Sandra, right? Yeah,
Yes.
she just posted it. Even on the way out of town, she said WSN Radio will represent. so
Yes.
thank you, Sandra. and we
No, thanks for
will
making me feel like I'm gonna miss something, right?
and we're going to represent next year and any other time you have this. Just reach out to us. And not only just let's not keep this like this one time. You got things going on, something going on throughout the year. Please let us know, and so we can
Oh,
get it out to everybody.
thank you so much. What I want to say to you is that we have like a precursor to the festival, just to kind of introduce people to an animator in his world and his life. So typically, SABIF, we started in 2021 since we had the platform build. On SABIF.tv, we've been showing monthly films on SABIF.tv. and it goes on Facebook Live and YouTube and all of that stays on there. But I've been doing monthly films, and then after the film, we actually talk to the creator, to the director or the producer of that film. Or
Okay.
if it's a subject matter, we may bring in some subject matter experts. When we did mental health film, we brought in mental health experts to talk about the films. So we again, we're always thinking impact. It can be infotainment, but through impact. And so we have a precursor to the Animation and Black Film Festival. We've pre-recorded an interview with Brian Vincent Rhodes, who's an award-winning filmmaker. His first student film when he was a student at USC was a film called Mosquito Bites of Passage. Adorable animated film about a mosquito that is just despises blood. So his mother tries to take him on a rites of passage to bite somebody and get their blood. And she's just she doesn't know how to tell her mother that she doesn't like blood. So it's a cartoon about that. So we interview him and talk with him and show the cartoon on sabif.tv on the 25th, which is this Saturday at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. You go to sabif.tv and you can see that interview. Wonderful, amazing animator telling us about his journey in his world and talking about the film.
Oh,
So we do the films every month. We're going to try to do them moving forward in 2023, 2 online films and 1 virtual pop-up film somewhere in the city, so that we can have virtual and live going quarterly
okay.
here in
Well,
the city.
I would definitely get together with you if you get some type of schedule to me. I would definitely have those posted to help get the word out.
Okay. We appreciate it. I mean, community radio, Black radio has been beneficial in everything we do, because you know the relevance. You know the
Yeah.
relevance, you know the importance, you know the impact of reaching our, our people specifically. But I do want to say that I really want this to people to know this film festival is for everybody. A lot of times when you put Black on it, people go into their zone. You
Yes.
know, I go see Italian films, German films, um, French films with subtitles. I go see all types of films. Film broadens and opens your world to other people, other culture, other topics. So I want to keep the door open and let you know this, although this film is Black International Film Festival, although my target is for Black folks to come and see and absorb what we have, it is open for everyone, open enough to see and learn and experience our world.
Amen to that.
Okay.
All right. Any last words before we sign off? You have been a treat, and you have been a wealth of knowledge. I learned some things already today that I'm gonna pass on, and I want to
Oh,
stay in touch.
thank you. Thank you. I would just encourage people, families, students, um, young and old, to come. Opening night is going to be exceptional. It's going to be exceptional. The Carver Community Cultural Center, that night when you come, you'll get more information about the rest of the days of the festival. But support Black film, Black cinema, support East Side venues, support Black businesses, all of that. We matter. And it's important that our audience experiences what we bring to them. And so we've curated a wonderful festival. We've worked hard with minimal support, minimal staff. I want to thank HEB for coming to the fold, for contributing money. I want to thank the San Antonio Film Commission coming to the fold and contributing money. Those things matter, giving back to the community and allowing us the opportunity for this. I'm hoping that District 2 um, representatives on every level can help get the word out as well, for people in their constituency, to know this festival is for them. It's for our festival. It's for building up the East Side and expanding the pride that we have here, the love that we have for this area. That's pretty much it. Just come, go to sabif.tv. We still need vendors, sabif.tv. We still need volunteers uh, for those live events. Still need help. It ain't over until it's over. So you can reach me at sabif team at sabif.tv. And that's just the acronym SABIFFTEAM at sabiff.tv. You can call me at 202-744-2641 if you're a vendor, a volunteer, if you're a donor, contributor, you have schools, classes you want to bring, come.
Okay.
Outside is just come.
All right, Ada, we appreciate it. And your time and your enthusiasm that you brought us this morning. If you weren't awake, you're awake right now. So we will catch up with you, and I'll give you a call later on today, and touch base with some other things. So we appreciate you taking time out, coming on board.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And WSAN, continue what you're doing, being the voice for the community. That is much needed. Much needed.
All right, thank you. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.